Hello, everyone, and we are back. And it is I, Ramon, the most amazing, the icon, the man, the myth, the moment, the legend. And we are here with WhenInRome, the podcast. And I have Mike here. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
And normally I say tonight, but we're actually filming this in the middle of the day, which is very strange.
It's odd.
Yeah, I've never really had like the sun. I feel like I'm like a Volturi when I do this, like a vampire, but it's fine. It'll be like Twilight. I can glisten in the sun. Do you glisten in the sun?
No, I don't glisten. I just sweat.
Okay, so you're dewy, but not pretty while doing it. I got it. You know what I mean? We can't all be pretty while sweating. All right, so if you guys don't know, this is, WhenInRome, the podcast, where, we talk about everything from, both gay and what's going on with SF, as well as what's new in your favorite icon's life. We have a party review section. We have an upcoming party section, followed by some news commentary, because it is important to keep an eye on what's going on in the world, yes. And lastly, we bring you a fierce-ass interview. Tonight, we are going to bring you a fierce-ass interview with the amazing Beverly Chills. Do you know who Beverly Chills is?
I do.
Yeah, she's first DJ. From everything. And we talk about, you get to learn about her from her time as a rent boy, you know what I mean? How she got to SF, opening for Chapel Roan, and why tongue scrapers have always been in. So stay tuned after the news recap for that. Next week, we'll be dropping our second half interview with Beverly Chills. So May is the month of Beverly, right? And then in that interview, we talk about her trans journey, what it's like living with an aging relative, and what's next for her in her career. Upcoming, we'll be doing a panel on being a party promoter, right? So I sit down with 3 of my party promoter friends, and we talk about all things party promoting and like throwing parties in SF. We talk about like how to deal with egos, the rising costs of throwing parties, creating safe spaces for gays, queers, and and everyone else, and much more. So stay tuned in the upcoming weeks for that. So let's get into it, bitches. Everyone get your mood enhancer, please. On the count of 3, we're gonna enhance ourselves. 1, 2, 3. Mike, please put down the poppers. Oh. Okay, oh wow, you home with poppers. I love it. And let's get into it. Happening since we last saw each other. Okay, so we have to talk about this. Did you hear about the MAGA rep that sent that little letter to that little child?
Yes, that is... Okay, to set the stage.
Okay, I'll set the stage, and then you can be the peanut gallery. So if you guys don't know, there's this little kid who's like 5 years old, and for his school project, he has to write a letter about like something about the government. And so he writes his letter, and you have to send it to their like state rep. And so the letter basically says that the state should give tax incentives. I love that it has to come from a 5-year-old. The state should give tax incentives to people who buy electric cars because that's good for the environment, right? He sends that letter to his 80-year-old to his 80-year-old rep, who is a MAGA rep anyway. She sends a letter back, and in this letter, she says that you're wrong, little kid, and she cites like 4 different places, like including a Fox News article. Now we know that like Fox News is not the place you go for serious journalism, and like like a Fox News article is probably not the same thing as, some kind of study done on, the impact of EVs or whatever. But she basically says that. And then at the very end, she says, and by the way, the only reason you would be sending this letter to me is because you're being indoctrinated by your teacher who is really wrong. This is literally... Think of like Santa's wife sending a letter back to a kid who asked for, like maybe like an EV truck. And she's like, no, you little bitch, all of our Tonkas are cool. You know what I mean? And tell your teacher she's a hoe. That's essentially what happened.
And then shoot your dog if it misbehaves.
Literally, like I don't know.
Okay, this kid is named Christian Mango.
Okay,
you did not tell Christian Mango that they're being indoctrinated.
Yeah,
for advocating for the tax breaks that Trump got rid of.
I love how he's only 1 vowel away from Christian Mingle. Do you know what I mean? Like that kid is, if he's going to be Christian, he's being set up.
To the stage.
He is being set up really well to be a Christian, but something tells me he's going to be a Damien. Do you remember Damien the movie where he's like the son of the devil?
Could be.
Yeah, it was amazing. Anyway, or like Omen. Anyway, so okay, let's move on. I think we're done. But yeah, it was just this 80-year-old woman yelling, shit talking. Or she wasn't yelling, but she came hard at a 5-year-old kid for a school project. So here's okay. Do you ever realize when your body is so tired that it's telling you and you want to listen to it, but you don't really want to listen to it, but you have to? Like, when your muscles are so tired they're quivering? That was me this weekend, where like I wanted to go out and I wanted to go to an orgy, and I was even trying to have an orgy. But when your whole is hungry but your body is crashing, like what do? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you got to listen to the body because it's connected to your whole.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Yeah, I mean, it was a rhetorical
your whole
question.
can't just go out on its
Really
own.
didn't need you to answer that. Really didn't need you to try to find a lot through line for that. I was just gonna like let it sit out there. But yeah, I mean, like, just listen to your body because I like literally didn't go out all this weekend, which groundbreaking, shocker. Like Mars is in retrograde if I'm not going out, but I did listen to my body. I feel better. I'm doing the podcast with a bottom and a top. And so yeah, having a great time. Oh, I went to the ballet this weekend at
how was
the
that?
ballet. It was really good. It was like, when I pick a show, I just pick whatever. Like I don't even really pay attention. So I picked like the spring festival for the San Francisco School of Ballet. So there was at one point there were like some little kids and blah blah. Fine, I don't care. But then when you got to the 18-year-olds, I was like, girl, call me in 10 years, okay? Those thighs, woo! Nothing gets me up like ballet thighs. It's like dancer ballet. You know what I mean?
Well, got to get you some opera glasses so you could zoom in on them.
No, I'm just fine, thank you. And if I'm zooming in, I want to be sucking dick because I want them to be on my head. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to get rest so I can get out there and meet ballet dancers who will fuck me. EDC is this weekend. You're obviously not going.
No.
Have you been?
Yes, I'm EDC retired. I've been to like
You're
7 of them.
EDC retired?
Uh-huh.
How many have you been to?
7.
Oh, yeah, you just said that I wasn't listening. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money to go to EDC.
Yeah, I'm like barely running on any serotonin.
But that's you always, honey. Like I don't understand. I mean, come on, don't blame EDC for your serotonin depletion. And with that, we're gonna go into one of my little favorite parts of this. What really grinds my girdles. You know what grinds my girdles? How every fucking time I turn around, there's another fucking airline that is taking fucking amenities and making us charge for them. So I'm gonna put a little article in the show notes because Delta has this thing now where if you're flying less than 350 miles. So basically, if you're not flying from the bum, like the tip of your dick in LA to the back of your balls, the through line in New York, right? Because that's literally I think that's just 350 miles there, right?
It's LA to SF.
Yeah, LA to SF. Okay, it's AXE. Sorry. So you have to be flying essentially, probably you have to be flying 2/3 of the way through the country. Like I don't even think from here to SF. From here to Chicago is probably, maybe from here to Texas. Yeah. But basically, like you can't like from going from one. So basically, to travel 2/3 of this country, you're not going to be able to get any service at all. They're not going to do any drinks, any snacks. And in the article that I'm going to post in the show notes, Delta trying to be like, oh my God, it's because we care about the flight attendants. If you cared about the flight attendants, you would pay them from the time the doors are up. Do you know what I mean? Until the time the doors close. You would pay them from the time that people start getting on the runway. Because they don't pay them then. But they really care about some fucking flight attendants. No, they're cheap. And this is my thing about airlines. Like, do you remember when you could just pick a seat and you'd have to pay $45? Now you have to pay for the option to want to change your seat, to pick a seat, right? So you pick a flight and then you have to pay for an option to even want to change the flight later, right? You got to pay extra for that. Then you got to pay, in case you want to change your seat, you have to pay. Now, and then on top of that, you have to pay to pick your seat. And it used to be like you would have to pay for first class or whatever. Now you have to pay to sit by the shitter. You have to pay to sit by, you know what I mean? Like the right wing.
They should at least make it fun and like make you buy like a raffle ticket. And if you don't win a seat selection, you can at least get like an edible arrangement or something.
Literally trying to pick a flight, trying to pay for a seat. It's like $150 for emergency exit, $125 if you want to just sit anywhere. Then it's $75 in the back by the window, $45 for the aisle. You have to pay for the aisle? That's like paying for torture.
I remember the first time I ever flew a Frontier, and I was like, flight attendant, my seat won't recline, and she's just like, oh, honey. Yeah,
that's really funny. Like, oh, girl, that's so cute. You think I'm gonna respond to that? But I feel like now they're gonna be like, oh, do you want your seat to recline? That's $20. Do you know what I mean? Oh, do you want to use the bathroom? There's gonna be a $20 charge. Like, what else? And it's because of that they do all this shit, and then the shareholders are still getting profits, but it's always on the customer because whenever price of fuel goes up, blah blah. That's not my fucking problem. That's your problem. These are called operational costs, and fuck the shareholder. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck. Well, maybe we should have nationalized flights. Maybe that would be greater. You know what I mean? My God.
The person in front of you has always paid for the recliner, the max recliner option, so you could just do like dental work on them.
I'm just saying, like, there's literally Delta is basically saying you're literally in a military barracks, like you're in a military aircraft now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised that they probably will charge you to like actually land. You might have to just take a parachute. You know what I mean? If you want to land, it's gonna be an extra $50. You know what I mean? Because of my God, I literally feel like when I'm in a flight that I'm in a military aircraft. You don't get crackers. You don't get fucking drinks. They don't have earphones or headphones anymore. Some of the flights don't even have like things where you can watch TVs anymore. It's all like web passes, and then you have to pay just to use the Wi-Fi. Like, my God, like my God.
Thing they won't even pressurize the cabin.
Right, you literally, you have to pay for oxygen. You know what I mean? Do you want to go in the back and pass out, sir? You want $5 for the fresh oxygen? With that, and finally got that out the way, and I actually hit my balls. So now I have blue balls, whatever. But now we're gonna go to the party section where I talk about parties. And we're back with party review. So I said that I stayed in. And when I meant stayed in, I did go to a friend's house and he had a pool and I was just like in the pool the whole time, trying to be Ariel but looking like Ursula. So I didn't really like, you know what I mean? I was social. You know what I mean? Sucked some dick. You know what I mean? Was told I was pretty. Good. It was all around good times were had.
Where is this dick sucking pool in
Hello, right? I think I'm gonna rent it for my birthday. It's on Vrbo, not on I was gonna say OnlyFans. Whoa, where's my head going? But it's on Vrbo, not on Airbnb. And so like I'll tell you about it. Like it's like in South San Francisco. I didn't even know about it, but yeah, enclosed pool and jacuzzi, girl. Like we were in there. Like it was a mess. It was so fun. But yeah, so I didn't go to any actual parties. But I do have some upcoming party recommendations. On 5/15 at Powerhouse is another trade party where I like to say there's trade in and not trade. But if you are going to go to Powerhouse, that's the most likely place you're going to find trade. You know what I mean, in the city. So that's gonna be really fun. At 5:15 on Public Works, there's this. It's called So Sweet. It's got really sick house music with Beverly Chills, Dev Cloud, and more. 5:15 at the Eagle, there's a Young Hearts. I haven't been to a Young Hearts in a while, and so I think I'm gonna go to this one. So I'll see you guys there. There's Locker Room Thursdays, in which Hair Flip I'm gonna be hosting on Thursdays at Bo. It's really fun. The music's good. I will be there, so then therefore it'll be the place to be. Remember, Man, Myth, Moment, Legends. And then on 5/23 at Powerhouse, Lickett is having another party. But then on 5/23, I'm also hosting a party, another one, Hair Flip. Maximus at Bo with really fierce ass circuit music with DJ Will Capital, who's going to be my new husband because, I mean, his name, he just sounds like he has a big dick with Forsen. I mean, Brazilian Capital. Like, come on. Capital this ass. And then last, 5:30 at Q Bar, it's Crave, which is DJ Kid's newest SF edition party. So there's going to be some sick hip-hop house music, and I can't wait to see that. You know what I've also heard is really good? The Underwear Night at Q Bar on Mondays.
Me too. I want to go.
Yeah, I was like,
I am all for the solidification of Castro. Bring it on.
Low, it's literally like tattooed on your butthole. Like right before you get in there, it's like solidification of, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna go to break and then we're gonna talk about some world news. And we're back with world news. Okay, so Mexico nightclub has a $300 cover charge for U.S. citizens, and it captures a popular mood. So, article synopsis: there's a popular nightclub in Mexico City called Japan, which I think is ironic. Right?
Called Japan?
Yes, it's called Japan in the Roma Norte neighborhood that has a policy that basically states that while they aren't charging gringos more, they are just not giving them a discount. So the price of entry is $300, and Americans don't get a discount. People from any other country get a 93% discount, and then I think Mexican citizens get a 98%, because I think basically if you're not from America, you get $20. And then if you're Mexican, you get 14. Although we were talking about this before. We were wondering if like these are just white people. Like if you were like, you know, down or whatever, or of another cult, like if you're a brown and American, would you be able to get in? Like, oh man, you cool. So we'll see. I mean, I would walk in there and be like, girl, I'm not even American. Okay, I'm from. Everyone thinks I'm African. So I will pick an African country, girl. You know what I mean? Every time I go to another European country or another country that's not America, they think I'm whatever African, immigrant they have in that town. And that's fine because Africans are amazing.
I would love to work the door at that club. Be like, nope, you look MAGA. Nope, yeah, I don't like your style.
Yeah, it's true. That you look MAGA. That would be a level of nuance. I would be very shocked if they had at the bar, the doorman at this club. But anyway, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Hey, I mean, they could do it. Like, they're just offering discounts. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like how people, because there is going to be a reaction, in the world for we've just done so much shit now that there's no way there can't be a reaction. USA aid, fucking the war in Iran, fucking tariffs, fucking, the Strait of Hormuz, like they're like, and we have such a blind administration that it's interesting seeing how these things are good. Like one time I was traveling, and it was only recently, like I've told someone that was American, they spit on the ground, and I was like, I feel you, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, what else do I say right now if you're an American and dealing in another country where they're dealing specifically with, what our actions, our proposals, our policies, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do it. I don't know. This is the least they can do. Stick it to us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great fucking policy. Like, if you're an expatriate, especially with your the whole problem they have in Mexico City with the gentrification, I know there's a good amount of expatriates who go down there who don't even you're not even trying to get into the lifestyle. You just sit there and speak English with your friends and don't actually learn Spanish and try to become a part of the culture. So I mean, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? But like I said, I better walk up in there and get some kind of discount. I mean, I am American and I'm traveling, so I can afford to pay more. But don't try to give me that $300 bullshit, okay? Because I am part of the diaspora. Thank you. And with that, let's move to American news. And we're here with American news. Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. Okay, so the United States Postal Service proposal would allow handguns to be sent through the mail for the first time since 1927.
Oh, great. I can't wait for my government to become the world's largest gun trafficker.
Oh, wait, we already are. Actually, oh, my God, damn it. We already are.
I know, let the quiet part out loud.
Hello. So, yeah, article synopsis. The Trump administration has pushed the United States Postal Service to propose a rule reinstating the ability for people to send guns to the mail. The law was stopped in 1927, and the Justice Department is now saying that not sending guns to the mail is violates the Second Amendment. Basically, it's like a relook at that law and interpretation of that law. There are 13 states that have sent an opposition, of course. You know what I mean? Like, here's hoping, and have asked the USPS to rescind the proposal. Currently, only authorized people can send guns to each other on like FedEx, whatever, where you have to work with a special agent and you have to, be authorized and blah, blah, blah. It gets sent, securely. And of course, gun rights advocates like it, and gun safety experts express concern. What do you think?
Yeah, God, when you just think we couldn't reach the bottom of the idiocy barrel, some fabulous new idea comes out.
I mean, it's clear that Trump is trying to throw meat to his base. You know what I mean? Like, this to me is a sign that he knows he's like in the doldrums. Like, he might say that he doesn't understand that he doesn't like polls, he doesn't get it. But this is because he does this shit, these weird, crazy like Hail Mary shit when he's trying to like get some kind of support because it like does. I mean, what? But also this is, and so like it's trying to basically drum up their support, drum up their like enthusiasm. So right before the midterms, because right now he ain't, but he still has 33%, right? So how do you keep those 33%? You know what I mean? If in your corner you do really weird, stupid shit like that.
33% is lower than Biden's ratings after that disastrous debate when everyone realized that he's just too old. Yeah, so Trump is lower than that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad it's not 40%, but the fact that it's taken this much and we still have 33% people approving, you know what I mean? Like, that's how inculcated they are to reality, that these 33% are still like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, gas prices are up, like, everything is more expensive, you know what I mean? Like,
volunteering to write response letters to 5-year-old kids.
Like, we talked about this, I think, last week or whatever, the podcast, but that, like, the true fallacy of the Trump administration is where it counts. They nominated a black woman. So they nominated a black woman to be Surgeon General because they were just tired of all these crazy people. So of course, where it counts, and that Trump is a historic homophobe. I mean, he's a germaphobe, right? So it's like that's where you put a black woman because you really do trust them, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I thought because where's the white-eyed, blue-eyed woman to take care of the CDC, honey? Do you know what I mean? But anyway. This policy is fucking unsafe. It's fucking crazy. I don't understand Trump. You've been shot at 3 times and you want more guns? Like, he really does think he's just like God. He thinks that he's invincible or whatever. But I just think it's crazy that I have all these people out there worried about selling drugs and you could just, according to Trump, they want you to just be able to send some Glocks to your homies for Christmas. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Happy Merry Christmas to y'all.
The drugs in your guns.
Right? Like, wow. Let's go to break and we'll be back with local news. And we're back with local news. So the SF immigration courts have lost more judges than any in the country. So SF has lost 98% of its judges through firings and retirements. There used to be 25 judges, and now there are 2, all because of pressure put on by the Trump administration, as well as their inability to get more appointed or want to, based off of the SF record of this on deciding immigration cases. SF has lost more judges than any other court in the country, and in California, the state has lost more judges than any other state. At all is a retaliatory trend from the Trump administration, who had no comment when asked in this article. Immigration advocates say that this was a targeted initiative and that judges within southern states that have asylum approval rates lower than national average were not fired or pressured to retire. Thoughts?
Yeah, I wonder what the effects of that are. If there's a gummed up immigration system, does that mean people who are awaiting, their hearings get to stay longer until that's resolved, or what?
Yeah, but I mean, maybe, but it's probably like, I feel like it's probably like it winds up sending them to other courts or districts that have, a lower asylum rate. So basically, they're going to go toward districts that have, judges that are more toward what Trump wants. Plus, SF has really strict, rules around like, dealing with, ICE and all that kind of stuff. So if it sends them out of SF, then there's probably a much greater propensity for them to do things like raise. I mean, they were like, waiting for asylum seekers when they would go to court. They would go wait for them outside in the aisle after court. You know what I mean? And if the judge couldn't give them or grant them asylum, they would literally just find them right there and deport them, right? And so I just feel like doing it like this also takes all the cases out of SF, which is one of the bastions of immigration advocacy, and puts them in these suburbs where they can do probably whatever they want, and it's not getting nearly as much, attention. I just think, plus, like the judges in SF had like a 60%, asylum rate. So basically that even if they get sent to other places or their cases are taking longer to be seen, when they are seen, they're being seen by judges who have a much lower propensity of giving them asylum. So then they're just going to be, to be deported anyway. So, but I really wanted to talk about this is because, like, even though there's the narrative right now is that Trump is declining, and the man is clearly crazy. You know what I mean? Like, clearly, like, dementia, whatever. And he's clearly, like, making an ass of himself on the world stage, and he's, like, in ways that he probably should. He's forcing them to, not be so relying so much on American influence, but he is still really dangerous. And for the next 2.5 years, he probably could be more dangerous when he doubles down on shit like this. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what we have to be afraid of, and not take the foot off the gas on, like, keeping Trump accountable. And with that, let's go to pop culture news. And we're back with pop culture news. Okay, oh God. I like, after I talk about the 2 bitches, I'm not going to talk about them for like the rest of the year, but I just thought that was important for this one little last article. So Nicki Minaj and Azalea Banks, back conservative prime minister candidate in England. So Nicki Minaj and Azalea have put their star power behind conservative prime minister candidate in England, Kemi Badenoch. She's a conservative, so fuck, I'm not even trying to learn her name because she wouldn't try to learn mine. They both enthusiastically came out for her on social media, with Nicki Minaj referencing Margaret Thatcher, like, oh my God, and Azalea Banks saying Kemi will be better than Nigel Farage. What are your thoughts?
That season of The Crown is going to be insane.
Oh my God. So like, one, I want to just like, nobody fucking cares about celebrity endorsements. After Taylor Swift and Beyonce and we coming out for Kamala and we still got Trump, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, celebrity endorsements don't matter. And Nicki Minaj talking about England is so redundant. Like they would be more likely to hate that reference. And like, you know what I mean? No one would want her, like support. And Azalea Banks is crazy. Azalea Banks, even in articles like, I'm sorry, I used to make fun of you, Britain, but now I love you, and and I love like conservative politics, and he's better than Nigel Farage.
Tomorrow's headline is Gary Busey comes out in favor of the conservatives.
The only reason I'm bringing him up is just because it's just a continued. It's just like I just want their continued fall from grace, right? How people just keep having to keep double down the cognitive dissonance, right? Because you saw the article with Nicki Minaj saying that she's always been a Trump supporter, but she didn't want to like come out with it because it was again, she was afraid that her fans, of course, your black and gay fans would be upset if you were a Trump supporter. Shocking that you wanted to keep that. You know what I mean? Oh my God, that's crazy. And then Azalea Banks like, Azalea, girl, go take your medication. You know what I mean? Take your medication, Roman. Take your medication, Azalea, because it's clearly you're crazy. And then to say that someone is like what is her name? Kami Hamiak or Kemi Badenoch is better than Nigel Farage. It's like saying the Candace Owens is better than Laura Loomer. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. If Nigel Farage is your benchmark for someone better than, he is the Trump, or he is the I don't know. He's like the Fox News host. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I just hate them. But it is going to be interesting to see and watch these celebrities, be they black or rich, just continuing to bend over and kiss Trump's ass. Like Tim Cook. Why is Tim Cook in China with Trump? I thought you retired. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what is going on? Aren't you supposed to be homosexual? You know what I mean? This man is decimating like homosexual rights in your country, and you retired. And that was the only reason, if I remember, that everyone kept saying that Tim Cook was like, in his butt, is because he had to do it as a CEO. I have friends of Apple who were like, no, he had to do it as a CEO. He's stepping down and still going with Trump to China. What?
Yeah, why does he even need to be there?
Right. Like, no China experts, but Tim Cook and fucking Elon Musk. Can you imagine? Like, you have Donald Trump being advised by Tim Cook and Elon Musk on China affairs. Like, no one else. No China experts. Those two. That's like having, like, I don't know, two I don't even know. I can't even imagine that scene in that room. You have China, who's been planning for this for decades, and blah, blah, blah. And then you have Donald Trump, Tim Cook, who, you know what I mean? I mean, he does have good Chinese relations. I mean, that's one thing that Apple has had for a very long time. And so maybe I can see him as part of a delegation, but Elon Musk and China, I mean, Elon Musk does have, things in China, but he just has, I don't know.
He's just trying to find a new source for ketamine.
Hello, I was just thinking that. And now let's go on to the examples of protest section. All right, so the examples of protest section where we highlight protests around the world. Okay, so in Cuba, blackout protests, hundreds of protesters took to the streets in Havana and other cities, blocking roads with burning refuse, banging pots, and shouting against the government due to severe rolling blackouts, food shortages, and lack of medicine. In Bolivia, protests have intensified into their second week with over 60 reported highway blockades by workers and indigenous groups protesting President Rodrigo Paz's economic policies, privatization, and inflation. And then in Tennessee, there were protests erupted outside at the Tennessee State Capitol following the expulsion of two Democratic lawmakers of the Tennessee Three from the House of Representatives. And that's it for our protest section. So we, support all protests all over the world.
We should also caveat that the Cuba blackouts, food shortages, and lack of medicine is due to the American blockade.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Just a small.
It's just us, you know what I mean? Being us. You know what I mean? Just using sanctions to, destroy countries. And let's go to the positive news section, because my God, we need some positive news, right? Like, fuck. Be right back. So nearly 60 countries back plan to phase out fossil fuels in Colombia-based talks after the UN meetings bear little fruit. So if you've been following any of this kind of like climate change shit, the COP conferences have basically meant nothing. The more and more that they have these conferences, which are like every year talking about climate change, and more lobbyists from the oil companies are there, to the point that you have more lobbyists at there than you have climate, activists or whatever. And so it's just been like neutralized and blah, 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 especially because now with Trump in power, he's like the opposite of climate change, right? Plus you have, countries like China saying they're going to be big on climate change, and they're doing a lot of things like capacity wise, but also they're also opening more coal plants, left, right, center. So basically, this is basically all the countries that that are not generally the largest emitters of fossil fuels getting together and challenging themselves to develop a plan to phase out fossil fuels, which we know that's the wave of the future. It's just kind of annoying that these 80-year-old men who we just all wish would have a heart attack, just like one cute aneurysm, you know what I mean, would just solve so many problems for at least 3 or 4 countries in the world, maybe 6 or 7. But yeah, you have any thoughts?
We need this yesterday, but good for Colombia joining Iceland and maybe a couple other, maybe Bhutan, I think, is another almost carbon negative country, but yeah, we need more of this.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like if anything, if they're like starting to put roadmaps together, and we are like the problem with our country is like this is right now where we should be starting to put roadmaps together. You know what I mean? I just like we did an article we talked about it last week where like New Orleans, the scientists have pretty much said it's got to go. Like you know what I mean? Like the levees are no longer going to be able in 10 to 20 years going to matter. And after the billions of dollars we put into it, you couldn't build enough levees to keep it from like you know what I mean having the seawater rise. And so now it's time to be thinking about moving that population, right? And instead we have Donald Trump not doing it. You know what I mean? So now's the time we should put all of our brain power on how we transition this world from the lower global north, south to the north, because that's literally like the amount of CO2 in the world is there. And unless we take it out, that's the impact we're going to have. You know what I mean? And so that at that point, based on the amount of CO2 in the world, there's going to be a global reckoning in the next 20 or 30 years. And it's going to require huge amounts of migration from the south to the north. But that's why they're trying to like do all these things now. They're trying to sicken them and get rid of USAID because they want them to get sick and die off before they come up. And when they do come up, they want them to be sick so they can be dependent upon the first world for drugs, right? And then also they want to just pass. That's why all these states and countries are trying to pass all these anti-immigration laws. You know what I mean? When all of their senses of prosperity were built on the backs of the global south in the first place. And with that, rant over.
We'll need another positive news section.
I mean, it's still positive news. Like these countries are coming together and they're building roadmaps. Because you're right. What I was tying into the positive part is like America's going to be going to these countries to like get their roadmaps because in lieu of when we should have been doing it on our own, right? So like the good part is that they're doing these roadmaps and building them because that's what's going to be needed in the future to transition us into a different world, which as we can see is happening now, and over the next 10 to 20 years is really going to rapidly increase. And that's the end of our show, ladies and gentle fucks. Stay tuned after the news recap for our first part interview with Beverly Chills. Thank you, Mike, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's always been fun. And as always, remember to follow me so you'll know when I post new shows. Remember to listen, rate, share, and laugh. And as always, keep it sassy, San Francisco. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Hello, hello, hello. I can hear myself. Do you want to say something?
Guten Tag. I think it can hear me too.
Why do you always seem so low? You know what? Hold on. Jesus. Okay, so now let's try it. Say something.
Say something. Guten Tag. Here we go.
I turned you up because you were sounding like a little bitch. Okay, we're done with that. Everyone, this is Ramon, and we are back with another interview, and this time with the amazing, the amazing, the beautiful, the illustrious Beverly Chills.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us.
Did I scrape my tongue? Does it look weird?
No, I can edit it out. You know what I mean? Note to edit.
I was talking to Chad over yonder about we need tongue scrapers.
Why? Just like in general?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Even your friend is like nodding, like, "What's wrong with you?" So yeah, I mean, tongue scrapers are in. You know what I mean?
No, tongue scrapers have always been in since the dawn of time.
Tongue scrapers have always been in. So if you don't know who Beverly Chills is, then it seems like she's everywhere in SF, from the Castro to Soma to Soma. I'm trying to think the other place was like, Mission.
Sometimes I'm in North Beach, sometimes I'm on the beach, sometimes I'm in LA, opening for Chapel Roan. I don't know about that. I don't know if y'all know about that.
But you do now. And as you can see from just being a personality, she's also a fierce ass DJ who's open for some cool ass people, as she just told you, like Chapel Roan. So good to have you, Beverly.
Yeah.
Let's get started, So you grew up in like Valencia, Santa Clarita in Arizona.
Yeah. How
did it feel to grow up in the middle of nowhere?
It kind of didn't really feel like the middle of nowhere. I felt predestined.
Not you just walking all over that joke, but whatever. Yeah, it wasn't the middle of nowhere. You suddenly be like, no, I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna go right by it. Go ahead.
No, what really was it was that my mom was a single mom because my mom and my dad were just like LA little like hipster kids, like doing the damn thing, like in Silver Lake, whatever.
Okay.
And then when she got pregnant, it was a surprise. And when they went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Do you want an abortion?" At the same time, my mom said no. My dad said yes.
Wow.
So that kind of separated that divide. And so this is all from hearing from my mom, but.
I mean, your dad wasn't there, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
at least partially what she said was right. You know what I mean?
Right. And I take care of my mom, and like my mom lives with me. Shout out Mama Chills. We love you, Mama Chills.
I've met her. She's cool.
Yeah, she's.
So you grew up in so you told me also that you didn't like Arizona, right? And then you became a houseboy. Like, how does that? How did you become a houseboy?
How did I become a houseboy? Well, I mean, that became from reading a Vice article.
Okay.
Where I was I was in middle school. No, I was in high school, graduating into college.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, so I don't want to do any of this stuff.
So you mentioned you became a houseboy in California. What was that like?
It was major. It was actually really funny because when I was a houseboy, I found it through a Vice article online, and it was how to become a houseboy. Because in my mind, I was like, how do I get back to California? I need to be back in California. I miss it so bad. When I was in Arizona, I was working at a Levi's store, at a Levi's outlet in
I can see you
Tempe,
working at a
Arizona.
Levi's outlet, your size 26s. Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah. It was just like being like a little like 2013 indie kid, just like throwing jeans around and like hanging out. And
so
I was like working out and like trying to like be like Kyle Krieger or something like that, and trying to be something that I wasn't, and trying to search for something, but I ultimately, the through line was always California.
Right.
The through line was always the West Coast.
Right.
So I was like, how do I get back to California? So I looked online, and the Vice article was like how I became a houseboy. So I went to houseboy.com, and
I thought you wrote a Vice article about houseboys. It was like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? It was like a hard hitting expose. You were like, that sounds fun.
Well, I mean, like, such is our community.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
true.
so then I did that, and then it was.
Was it like just like cleaning, or like what was it? What was it actually being?
Well, it was an interview first.
Oh, okay. Well,
And then we were just like talking, and he was like really cute.
Oh. No, you don't want to go for the rest of that.
He actually wasn't.
Hindsight is never 20. I guess it's not 20/20 in this sense.
No.
Okay, so let's move on. Like,
rose tinted glasses sometimes can get foggy.
hello. I'd argue they start foggy and they never really get clear. All right, so let's talk about you got to SF, right? When did you move to SF?
I moved to SF in 2013.
Okay, and what was it like? What was SF like at the time?
Oh my god, well, Applause just dropped, and I loved that whole era. It was like Lord's Ribs, Boom Clap, like literally like everything that like is so like referential now is what was happening in 2013.
I know
American Apparel was in every sector of San Francisco. There was one in Cow Hollow. There was one in Hayden-Ashbury. There was one at China Gate.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
There was an American
and I
Apparel
sucked dick
everywhere.
at every single one of them.
Oh, I didn't even. Where did you see? That's why you know you're. That's why you know you're svelte. We'll just say that word, because where do you even find space to suck dick in American Apparel, girl? You know what I mean? I don't want to. Actually, I do want to know.
Well,
after this.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny. Maybe that'll be the promo. I sucked dick at every single one of them. I love it. Okay, so but I didn't know the SF was still the same. Do you know what I mean? It might have been an American Apparel or Mr. S now, but we're still sucking dick in. I guess maybe fitting rooms. So you told me that you've been off and on to SF, like back and forth. Like what has that been like? Why and why? I'm assuming money, right?
Well, yeah, just the financial instability of living in San Francisco is really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we need to. Actually, I don't think we need to do anything.
I think it needs to be done for us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, where there's not, like, we need to vote,
nothing
blah, blah,
done.
blah. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
how many more progressives do you vote for before you actually get progressive shit? You know what I mean? Or how many more Democrats or how many more whatever, because, you know, we live in a liberal blue state, a liberal blue city, and it's still one of the most expensive. You know what I mean? So, and then with a lot of red tape and a lot of bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I get that. What was I see? I got lost on my own fucking question. So yeah, so I mean, so you would basically move because not enough money to save up and then come back. How many times have you been back and forth? Like, how many times has that happened?
I think, in my mind, like two. Like, I've left twice, and I feel like it was really intense, obviously, but I give a lot of thanks to like Nuance, who like helped me couch surf at her apartment and like helped me when I was like at my lowest for those moments too.
Shout out to Nuance. Big shout out because she's tall as shit.
Big.
hello up there. Okay. So then let's transition into. Sorry, we're not talking about the transition just yet. Let's talk about when you started doing drag. When was that?
So I started doing drag in 2016.
Okay. And why a Tower versus a Monroe?
Well, because I didn't know what a Monroe.
I'm just saying, like, why a Tower essentially versus a Monroe or whatever.
I was just like super new to the scene. Like, I was looking back at my camera roll, and it like marks my like 11th year of like working and being in SF nightlife, and I feel so exhausted but rewarded. I feel
overworked, tired, but successful.
But it's rewarding, you know. It's like a lot of people think that I'm like this like rising star and stuff. It's like, no, I've been here for like a very long time. Actually, I've been here since 2013, but I've also been in and out of nightlife through like SF, LA. I've gone to New York a couple times too. Like, I've been here, and
maybe you should you could be a rising star with a long tail. Do you know what I mean?
And honey, it's long.
Hello. So what was it like when you started doing drag? Where did you drag? When did you do drag first?
Well, when I first started doing drag, I did it at Moby Dick for Grace Towers' Baby Queen show at Moby Dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you and then did you perform after a lot, or where did you perform?
I performed chairlifts cha-ching as like a burglar. Oh my god. And this is like so 2016. This is so 2016. Because I was dressed up as a burglar, and I come in from like the back entrance or like not even from the stage, from like the entrance to the bar, and with these like money bags, and I'm like cha-ching, cha-ching, and then I'm like walking in like so like I'm like doing the whole thing, and then it ends with Nicki just dressed up as a cop, throwing me over her shoulder and like walking out through the back.
Oh, I can see that. I could literally see that.
I kind of want to recreate it.
You should, especially now.
That would be iconic, right?
That would be really funny. Because I would just love to see that much emotion in your face. Ooh. All right, and then another question is, what other places have you performed in drag?
Well, I gave Charlie XCX roses in drag at Rickshaw Stop. I've done drag at Oasis. I've done drag in a lot of places. I kind of forget just because like the DJ thing kind of like
it takes over. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about like spot gigs that were here and there 10, 12, years ago, right?
No, literally.
It's like asking me like what Kikis were like.
When you're saying no phones, I'm like, if I can't like go through my camera roll, like, It's very that.
Okay.
And it's funny, like when the afters gets really boring, that's when the phone starts calling.
You're one of those. There's always some people who start to bring out. They want to start bringing up the memories.
Oh my God.
You're one of those. I have friends like that.
But yeah, I mean, like when the coke dick is so strong, y'all.
That's always a good time.
Might as well pull out the phone.
And on that note, we're gonna take a break. Let this coke dick wear off. We'll be back. And we're back from break. I hope you guys did what I did. Not Beverly though. All right, let's get back to it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Would you ever do drag again?
Yeah, I want to so bad. Oh my god, I have like an Apple Music playlist of. It's called New Drag Who Dis.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's like all these songs that I really want to perform. Naomi Scott, some of her like stuff from Smile 2 is really good. That I have like in my brain. Like also like Slater, of course. Like the new album is so fucking good. Oh my god. And I always get I put myself in this jail, but like I am a person who loves pop music so much that like unfortunately when something leaks and I really like it, I do want to either perform it or DJ it because like it's already out there and I want to give it the love that it deserves.
Yeah,
and
it's already out. Like,
yeah.
Why not?
You know, and it sucks to the artist that it's leaked from, of course. Like, and I hope they know that it's like not like any ill will or anything. And like, I couldn't ever be the leaker because like I would feel really gross even hacking
that's
to
shady.
do
But
that.
I mean, if it was
you know?
online.
But if it's already out, then like it's almost like reclaiming the word. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like
sense.
at the end of the day, all like any kind of advertising or any kind of whatever is good advertising.
Yeah.
So if a good song leaks and it leaks, unless it's like not like completely different from what the song is gonna be, it's fine. You know what I mean?
I think so too.
They'll be fine. Sure.
There's so much like commercial advertisement like noise anyway that like when something is really good, just embrace it and have fun with it.
Yeah, if
whatever happened to fun.
If it makes noise, just the fact that it leaks and makes noise, maybe what the thing that it needs to get heard, and what you said in a place with like when there's so much out there right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Do you think there's an over proliferation of drag in the city or in Worlds?
I mean, it's been a flooded market since like the commercialization of it.
Yeah.
You know, like
since pretty much Drag Race.
Since Drag Race, yeah. But
You watch Drag Race?
I'm actually not caught up with this current season at all, just because I'm so busy.
Yes, both busy about last time.
But I do.
And blue.
Yeah. Blue is my favorite color.
Oh, cool. You look great in it.
Thank you. Do you like my shirt?
I do. I love it. Hope your abuser dies. I do.
Yeah.
I've like got into all those.
I really do. I really do hope that.
Yeah. Okay, so who are your favorite drag queens in SF and beyond?
Oh my god. Well, I mean, top on the list, like my Abby Lee Miller like bracket is like Naomi Smalls is always gonna be top of that list.
She's
like,
fierce.
Naomi is that bitch. She's my favorite.
I used to call myself Naomi Medium. I used to be Naomi Large.
Well, Clark, Goswell Princess, Princess Pinocha, and Nikki Jizz always call me White Naomi.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, that's
interesting.
That like feels like a Grammy.
It's just an honor to be nominated.
Right.
Anytime anyone calls me Grace Jones, I'm like, oh my god,
that
pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Who gave us this pussy?
Oh.
So okay, you said, and then what about like? Do you have beyond like on Drag Race? Your favorite drag queens?
Well, I really love Bosco. Bosco's a sister for sure. I love Bosco. As far as like, I mean, I really love Luscious Massacre. She's not on Drag Race or anything, but I like that she's using her platform and You know, she's an Emmy winner makeup artist for They're Here, but also her YouTube channel is just like incredible.
And she also has a publicist, you know what I mean, who's doing a very good job in this blurb. If you could do drag again, where would you do it?
If I were to do drag, I would really love to do drag at the Castro Theater.
You know, you love a big arena, bitch.
I just want, why not people on basketball?
You want a one-woman review, bitch.
I want it all.
Yes. Yeah. So you want to give a drag experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna go back to it, I want to do it big.
I love it.
Because I feel like I've been getting this critique all through my life is that I don't like do enough, or that I'm just like not like I'm not emotive enough, or that I'm too like stoic or whatever. And it's like, well, then I want, if I'm given like a platform and like a stage that like actually like has like really good sound, has really good lights, like everything's like to the T, then that's where I can really shine.
Yeah, you can go big through your art. There's a lot of like artists who are, you know, a little reserved and they go really big in their art, but then, you know what I mean, like Eddie Murphy, I remember watching that thing. He said he's like he said he's not like the, you know, people on the show. You know what I mean? On the people he plays in movies or whatever. So I mean, there's a long history of that. All right, so let's get into your DJ. When did you start DJing?
I started DJing in 2022.
And why?
Why?
Yeah.
Why not? You know, it's the same thing with drag. It's just like people say that there's too many DJs, that there's too many drag queens, that there's too many whatever. It's like let it be too many, so then you can like actually like see the full scope of it, and then you get to pick
you have options,
your favorites and your options.
Yeah.
You know, like I do. I'm not mad at a flooded market, because that means that there's love in it. People love it so much that there's so much of it. You know what I mean? So I started when I was like doing like floor hosting for a club called Rhonda in San Francisco, and I was introduced to Lauren and Gregory, who do a club called Rhonda. And then when I started hanging out with Adam Kraft and Mitchell, Sad Gay Boy, started kind of just like hanging out with them behind the decks and kind of just seeing like how that works. And I've always been like such a playlist maker. And when I was like in the prime of like my drag career, I would do these like curated monthly Spotify playlists called Beverly. And I was like, this just is the next step.
It was like a natural kind of progression from doing it. Okay. How do you save or order your music? I was talking to a DJ the other day, and they were saying it was very important. Like, do you have a way of saving it? Or ordering
saving it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, do you save your music by?
Oh, how do I collect it?
Yeah.
Well, there's so many different options. You know, there's Beatport. There is also SoulSeek.
No, like, how do you order? Like, is your music ordered by name, by key?
How do I catalog?
Yeah, how do you catalog it? Sorry, I didn't use it.
I mean, I just throw it on my USB through record box.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I like plug it into the decks, like I usually go to menu, order, and then I order through BPM actually.
BPM.
So like, yeah, I'm like more in tune with that.
Okay.
I like fluctuating with the BPM and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I like more of like a feeling the earth of the bass and stuff first.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I was talking to a DJ the other day who I think he does it by key, right? And so I was just
Which is cool.
Yeah, I was interested in how
my friend
different DJs
Javon
do
from
it.
London is like a big key, because he does all those like really cool mashups that go like really popular on TikTok, and I'll like give him an idea. I gave him one idea recently with Kim's Mr. Producer and Zombie Nation, but like we were messaging a couple days ago, and it reminded me of a conversation that we had years ago where I gave him an idea and he was like, yeah, that makes sense, but like they're both in two different keys, so it wouldn't work. And my brain was just like, I don't know what that means.
Right.
Because I'm it's funny because my hands are like, I've been told I have like pianist hands.
You don't have penis hands, you have
pianist. Well, you know, I can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
But I've never been trained. I don't even know how to ride a bike.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
I can be on the back of a motorcycle, but I don't know how to ride a bike myself. It's just crazy.
Well, one day we'll have to get you on one. We know you know how to ride things.
I know how to ride.
I almost got that out. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna end our first part, and then we're gonna, of course, record the second part after this. Thank you, Beverly, for being here. This has been great. This has been When in Rome. Keep it sassy, San Francisco. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.